Hey guitar geeks, Guitar Guts back, this time with setup specs for Fender bass guitars. Now these specs should work for any of the classic Fender bass designs like the Precision bass, the P bass, the Jazz bass, the J bass, or one like this Jaguar bass, which is a P and J bass. Fender has over the years made some other guitars that have a flatter radius on the neck or active pickups, and these specs may not be exactly right for those. You'd have to look those up individually. So you'll need a couple of tools. You'll need screwdrivers, you'll probably need an Allen wrench, you'll probably need a capo or maybe some tape if you don't have that to hold the strings down at the top of the neck. First spec that I've got for you here is the neck relief, and Fender sets this at the 8th fret. So you'll come down to the 8th fret on the neck. You'll need to capo on the 1st fret to hold the strings down up here. Unless you have 3 hands, you'll need that. And then you also need to hold down at the last fret on the string that you're measuring, so that you're sort of making a straight edge out of the string. And what you're checking for at the 8th fret, between the top of the fret and the bottom of the string, you're looking for about 12 thousandths of an inch clearance. That's about 3 millimeters. One of the easiest way to do that is with one of these little fairly cheap string action gauges. They've got thousandths marked out down here at the bottom and things marked in 64ths on the side, and also a nice conversion chart on the back. Very handy. But that's what you're looking for at the 8th fret. You're looking for 12 thousandths clearance. That's about 3 millimeters between the bottom of the string and the top of the fret. The next spec that I've got for you is the string action height. You don't want your strings too high or too low. You want them comfortably high. A good starting point. Now this is not, you know, you'll have to pepper and salt this to taste. It doesn't work for everybody just from this baseline, but the string height, Fender suggests checking that at the 17th fret. And on the bass side, a starting point is 6/64ths of an inch. That's about 2.4 millimeters. On the treble side, you can set it a little closer at 5/64ths of an inch. That's about 2 millimeters. Now again, this is just a starting point. You'll have to raise and lower it until you find what's comfortable for you, what works for your bass playing style. Everybody's individual when it comes to this, but it's a good starting point. The last spec that I've got for you is the pickup height, and that's measured from the top of the pickup, or the pole pieces on top of the pickup, to the bottom of the string. And again, the string gauge comes in real handy there. Now bass pickups can be a little bit annoying because the pole pieces on pickup don't always line up directly under the string, and so you're kind of having to move the gauge over a little bit away from the string and then try to look under it, so it gets a little more difficult than it does on a regular guitar. And also when you're adjusting these pickups, sometimes when you're turning the screws, it feels like you've bottomed the pickup out, or maybe it's at the top of its adjustment when it doesn't look like it's really extremely adjusted. And you just need to push on it and wiggle it in its cavity a little bit, you know, and then it'll let go and it'll adjust for you. They're kind of stiff sometimes. They're tied in those slots, which is fine. The pickup height on the bass side, Fender suggests 7/64ths of an inch, and that's about 2.8 millimeters. On the treble side of your pickup, they suggest 6/64ths of an inch, or 2 millimeters. And again, these are just starting points. Some pickups sound better a little closer to the strings and some better a little further away. You just have to do a little trial and error and see what sounds best to you. Now this is for the standard P and J bass pickups that they have in most of their guitars. If you have a humbucker pickup in the guitar, you can set that a little bit closer than those specs, about 1/64ths closer. That's not 1/64th away from the string. That's 1/64th closer than those baseline measurements I just showed you. If you have a vintage noiseless or just a vintage P or J bass pickup, you might want to set that a little bit further away from the strings at about an additional 1/64 away from the string. So again, the baseline adjustments, 7/64 on the bass side, 5/64 on the treble side. Well, I hope that helps. Having your bass adjusted correctly will make it play better and sound better, and maybe that'll make the bass a little more enjoyable for you to play and more fun to make some music with. Hope you enjoyed. Leave some comments in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Thanks for watching.